The Chronicle of Higher Education did this incredible story about someone who refers to himself as the shadow scholar. Now, the article does not share his identity, so we don't know who he is specifically, but he wrote this incredible article about how he gets paid $2,000 or more to write essays and papers for college students. Now, this is not news. This is something that we've heard about before, but people are so unaware of how often this happens, okay? It's not one college student for every 1,000. This shadow scholar says that he has made a very, very good living doing what he does. In fact, he made $66,000 last year just by writing papers for college students who want to cheat, okay? So first of all, let me just tell you that the reason why this is so problematic is because there are so many people in college right now getting higher education that know nothing, that cannot construct a simple sentence. And he gives an example of that. One of the people that came to him and asked him to write a paper was this one business major. And the business major, he quotes verbatim in his article, okay? So she emails him several times and she asks him for help on this paper on business ethics, okay? How funny is that? So, so that's the topic of the paper. So I have some of her emails. I want you guys to read it. I'm going to read them verbatim. You guys are going to be amazed at how many grammatical and spelling errors there are in each sentence. So let's put the graphic up. First one is, you did me business ethics proposal for me. I need proposal, got approved. Please, can you will write me paper? That was the first email that she sent. And amazingly enough, he actually understood that sentence because he deals with so many people who are like this.
But Anna, look, when you see that email, you see she really needs him. He's providing a real service. Makes sense.
Oh my God, this is incredible. Let me continue. Another email she writes had to do with sources. And she writes, did you get the source I send? Please, where are you now? Where you are now, I'm sorry. Disparate, she meant to write desperate, to pass spring project, or project. So that's her spelling, that's verbatim, that's what she wrote in the email. Next one, thanks you so much for the chapter is going very good. The professor likes it, but wants the following suggestions. Please, what do you think? I mean, that, it's incredible. And look, I'm actually reading the words, you know, the correct way. She spells so many things wrong. You wouldn't understand what I'm saying if I were to read them the way she spelled it. But go ahead.
Here's what I don't understand, Anna. The professor, right? Mm-hmm. Like, she comes up to him and hands in this presumably a very good paper that the shadow scholar wrote. But as she's talking to him, she's like, here, take paper. It is good. I am good major. Please help. Like, it's the professor like, wait a minute now. How did this lady write this paper? See what I'm saying?
Right. No, I do see what you're saying. And one of the arguments that the shadow scholar makes is that professors have such a heavy workload and they're so busy with so many different students that they don't have the resources to investigate things. So they're not paying close enough attention. So, you know, oftentimes a student will come up to them and look, even if you have a hard time writing, you can still communicate verbally, right? These students obviously have an issue constructing sentences on paper. Okay, so with this particular student, she first came to the shadow scholar asking for help on the ethics paper, right? After he wrote the ethics paper, the professor needed her to make changes. So she didn't know how to make the changes, so she had to go back to the shadow scholar and ask him to make the changes, and she had to pay him additional money for that. And then she decided, hey, this is a pretty good paper on ethics, and I'm trying to get my PhD in business, so why don't I ask him or pay him to turn this into a thesis? And he did. This woman, somewhere in the world, has a PhD in business and does not know anything about business, doesn't even know how to construct a simple sentence in an email. Unbelievable.
I have so many things to say. First, that I've decided that is one badass name. the Shadow Scholar. Like he could be like a professional wrestler or something with that name. Second of all, wouldn't it just be easier to actually get the education? Like,
Absolutely. Yeah,
like they,
let me just say something real quick, Cenk. How many stories have we done about education putting us in debt, about how we want to go to college but we can't afford it? This girl is, I mean, this woman is getting a PhD in business. I assume she's taking out loans for it. Why don't you get your money's worth and get that education? Why are you wasting your time? And you know, the shadow scholar kind of explains it a little bit. He says that a lot of the people that come to him are either rich kids that are lazy or they are English as a second language students. So, you know, they have a lot of obstacles when it comes to obtaining education. Either they didn't get proper ESL in high school, so it all carried on to college, and they're in a lot of trouble. So there are a lot of different factors that come into play.
Right. Second language, I give a little bit more of a pass on, but I bet you a great majority are rich kids. Because you're thinking like what I was thinking is, why bother getting a PhD? I mean, what are you going to do with it? The minute you walk into somebody's room and you're like, me, PhD scholar, you're gone, right? I mean, what's your point? Why'd you waste all that money? Because not only did you have to take out loans for the school, but you also had to take out loans to pay the shadow scholar, right?
Right.
So, and the reason is they want it for prestige. They want it to be able to tell mama and papa, oh, please, I have a PhD. Now get off my back and let me just sit on my ass. You see what I'm saying?
No, I absolutely see what you're saying. And you know, he actually writes about the rich kids, and he says that he loves when they go to him because they're usually the ones who know exactly what they want. They're the ones who come from rich families, and they know that they're going to grow up to inherit some sort of business, so they know how to boss people around. So this shadow scholar describes them as students who know exactly what they want. They give specific directions. They're just lazy, so they don't carry out what they're supposed to do for their college education. It's an incredible story.